Good morning, everyone. My name is Miss Bridget, and welcome to Preschool Storytime right here on the Sewickley Public Library YouTube channel. Now, before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about what's happening all week long. On Tuesdays, we have Babies and Books. On Wednesdays, we have Stories for 2s and 3s. On Thursdays, you're with me at Preschool Storytime, and on Fridays, we're at Family Storytime. You can find all those videos at 9:30 a.m. This week, we are having a very special Halloween story time. I'm really excited to share some really funny books and a really cool book about a ghost with you today. So let's get started by warming our hands up to sing Hello Pumpkins today. Make your hand a fist and we're gonna flick the top of it, and that's pumpkins. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Hello, pumpkins. Hello, pumpkins. Hello, pumpkins. It's time to say hello. All right, let's go one more time, a little bit faster. Warm those hands up. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Hello, pumpkins. Hello, pumpkins. Hello, pumpkins. It's time to say hello. Well, now that I've said hello to you and you've said hello to me, how about we get started with a story? Our first book today is The Ghost Who Was a Quilt, written by Ryle Nason and illustrated by Brian Eggenschweiler. And I would like to thank Tundra Books for their permission to read it to you today. This is The Little Ghost Who Was a Quilt. Once there was a little ghost who was a quilt. He didn't know why he was a quilt. His mom and dad and all his friends were sheets. They were light as air. They flew high and fast and twirled and whirled in the sky. They could even ride on a gust of wind and then whoosh back to the ground, like they were going down an invisible slide. The little ghost who was a quilt was heavy because of his layers of fabric. It was hard for him to lift off, and he was a slow flyer. He got hot and sweaty when he tried to go faster. And the only time he attempted to twirl and whirl, it didn't go well. One day, he and his friends were at the park when they heard someone coming. His friends zoomed away because the ghosts are terrified of people. But the little ghost couldn't escape quickly enough. He flopped over a bench, a family came along, and a little boy who was eating ice cream sat down beside him. The little ghost had never been so close to a human child before, and he felt fear in every fiber of his fabric. The boy only stayed a few minutes, but he dropped a big blob of melted ice cream right on little ghost's face. Later, when some other ghosts saw him, they laughed at the stain on his forehead, and the little ghost was embarrassed and also very sticky. The little ghost didn't like being different. His mom told him he had an ancestor who was a checkered tablecloth, and his great-grandmother was an elegant lace curtain. Everyone said she was the most beautiful ghost they'd ever seen. Even knowing that, the little ghost didn't feel any better. He wished he was just one fabric and not a whole bunch of squares sewn together. The other ghosts called him scrappy, and he didn't like that. But there was one day that always cheered him up: Halloween. People seemed excited about ghosts on Halloween, and sometimes children dressed as them for trick or treat. Every year, the ghosts went to watch the festivities. They stayed silent and still in the trees and pretended to be decorations far away from humans. So look, there are the ghosts watching Halloween. Too heavy to hover, the little ghost who was a quilt usually draped himself over a clothesline. He never had a very good view. This year, he had a better plan. He remembered how close he was to the boy in the park. He decided to be brave and fold himself over a chair on a porch right in the center of the action. Oh, look, there he is. Halloween night came, and the little ghost flew as fast as he could. But when he was only halfway across the lawn, he heard people approaching. At the last possible second, he flopped over the porch rail instead. A mom walked up the driveway with a little girl dressed as a ballerina. While the girl trick-or-treated, the mother asked the man at the door something. I wonder what she asked. The next thing the little ghost knew, the mom had picked him up. He was so scared he thought all his seams might come unstitched. The mom wrapped the little ghost around the girl and put them both in a wagon. The little girl had been cold, and now that the little ghost was keeping her warm, he could hardly believe what was happening. They headed down the street past his friends in the tree. "No, don't go," one whispered. "What are you doing?" said another. The little ghost decided to fly away as soon as the girl got out of the wagon to trick or treat again. But the mom didn't turn into the next yard or the one after that. By the time she was finally walking up to a house, the little ghost was panicking. How would he get away? The mother carried the wagon and the girl and the little ghost into the house. The little ghost didn't know what to do. He reminded himself to stay calm and be brave. Oh, looks like there's lots of little eyes looking back at him. The little ghost peeked around the room. There were Halloween decorations everywhere. He even saw a branch trimmed with lollipop ghosts. They looked just like his friends in the tree. The girl tucked the little ghost, who was a quilt, under her legs as she sorted her candy into piles. He felt surprisingly cozy. Maybe things would turn out okay after all. The little girl ate a chocolate bar, and when she wiped her sticky fingers on the little ghost, he didn't mind at all. After the little girl was asleep upstairs, the mom gently folded the little ghost, who was a quilt. She smiled and admired his fabrics and traced her finger along a line of his stitching. It tickled. She set the little ghost on the couch and went upstairs too. When she was gone, he flew into the fireplace and out the chimney. His smile was 3 squares wide. The little ghost's friends cheered and rushed over to him. They were amazed by his courage and wanted to hear every detail of his adventure. They flew slowly along with him all the way home. The little ghost was so happy that he felt like he was floating without even trying. Everything that had happened was because he was a little bit different. Everything had happened because he was a quilt. And that is the end. And the quilt of the little ghost who was a quilt. As a special treat today, we are going to do the 5 little pumpkins instead of zoom, zoom, zoom. So this is the 5 little pumpkins. Here we go. 5 little pumpkins sitting on a gate. The first one said, "Oh my, it's getting late." The second one said, "There are witches in the air." And the third one said, "But we don't care." The fourth one said, "Let's run, let's run." And the fifth one said, "Isn't Halloween fun?" Then, woo went the wind and out went the light, and the 5 little pumpkins rolled out of sight. The 5 little pumpkins. Our next book is Skeleton Hiccups by Marjorie Curler, illustrated by S.D. Schindler, and I would like to thank Aladdin Paper Books for their permission to read it to you today. Skeleton Hiccups. Skeleton woke up. Hiccup, hiccup, hiccup. Had the hiccups. Hiccup, hiccup, hiccup. Took a shower with the hiccups. Hiccup, hiccup, hiccup. Uh-oh. Brushed his teeth. Hiccup. Uh-oh. Polished his bones. Hiccup, hiccup, hiccup. Carved a pumpkin. Hiccup, hiccup, hiccup. Uh-oh. It looks like it's hard to carve a pumpkin with the hiccups. Raked some leaves. Hiccup, hiccup, hiccup. Played with Ghost. There's Ghost. Hiccup, hiccup, hiccup. Ghost told skeleton, hiccup, hiccup, hiccup. Hold your breath. Hiccup, hiccup, hiccup. Eat some sugar. Hiccup, hiccup, hiccup. Press your fingers over your eyes. Hiccup, hiccup, hiccup. Drink some water upside down. Uh-oh. It's a little hard to do when you're a skeleton. Hiccup, hiccup, hiccup. Ghost made a face. Boo, he said to skeleton. Hiccup, hiccup, hiccup. Didn't seem like it worked. But nothing worked. Hiccup, hiccup, hiccup. The hiccups stayed. Then Ghost got smart. Hiccup. Found a mirror. Hiccup, hiccup, hiccup. Held it up. Skeleton screamed. Wah! And his hiccup, hiccup. Did it go away? The hiccups laughed. Hiccup. They jumped away. Hiccup, hiccup, hiccup. Hooray! And that is the end of Skeleton Hiccups. Well, my friends, thank you so much for joining me for Preschool Storytime today. I hope you had an excellent time, and I hope you have an even better Halloween. Now let's warm our hands up to say goodbye, pumpkins. Here we go. Goodbye, pumpkins. Goodbye, pumpkins. Goodbye, pumpkins. It's time to say goodbye, pumpkins. Alrighty, I will see you all next week for more Preschool story time. I hope you have an excellent Halloween and a great costume and you eat lots and lots of candy. All right, have a good day. Bye-bye.